I don't have much time, mostly because I have a limit of time here. So I'm just here to draw something really fast. I'm using Sai because it's all sorts of awesomeness for $50. And for drawing and inking, one heck of a tool. So right here, I want to pay a bit more attention to one character I've ignored for a while. I mean, I've been too concentrated on the extra stage. I want to jump into other projects, but of course, you want to finish one project before jumping into another one. So let's just say that my other projects are taking a shuffle, and I have to find a way to balance out everything until I get to my until I finish extra stage to actually finish it, complete the whole series, and then jump into my other projects. But in a sense, it's good because I do have multiple ideas I want to jump into, and at least I'm not gonna remain stale in a sense. Um, so yeah, right now I'm working on Katarina. It's been such a long time I haven't drew her. I need to figure out her shapes, and maybe I should do a study on what kind of shape I should give her. And a lot of people are just gonna remember her or the nickname they gave her is like Melons. And I keep telling you guys, it's all part of her story. No joke. It is not just a shameful way to give her bigger breasts. Nah, it's all part of the story. Problem is, I never get to jump into that story because I didn't start that project. But as soon as that goes, it's gonna be a lot of fun. Also, unlike the live stream, no music on this one because I'm recording from the studio program using Manycam, and apparently, if I start music, my voice gets muted. So I'll have to find a way to back it up or use some alternative methods. Hey, there's always the live stream. I need to post more of those live streams are also just for fun, but I imagine I'm gonna start doing more extra stage related content on the live stream. But remember, I'm not trying to teach you anything. I'm not some kind of a teacher. I just do stuff. And eventually, I guess, or hopefully, you can find stuff within that stuff to pick up and acquire. That's the whole thing with drawing. There's no definitive method, there's just trying. And then, well, okay, there's learning, because you can learn from other methods, but eventually you're going to have to find a way to integrate those into your own method. Like this, I sometimes forget to give a bit more volume to the lips using that ball or a half circle technique. Well, you can't really call it a circle, you can call it a half ball. Just adding volume. Like the eyes, they're circles or balls. They're spheres. That would be the more technical term. You can call them spheres. And basically, just using that to give yourself some volume patterns is great. Um, but yeah, the more you learn, the more you have tools to use, and then once you find the proper way to use them, then you can just roll with it. If you're doing things step by step, then sometimes it could just make you a bit stiff. But who knows? Sometimes the more you do things, the easier it'll get for you to integrate them without thinking. And this is where you flow. Of course, I'm doing this digitally, so I'm getting used to the whole digital sketching much. Somewhat. It's been a while. I mostly like traditional work and sticking to pencil and paper, and especially animation paper. Love those. But I don't know. There's a certain aspect of digital drawing that I'm liking as well. The fact that I don't need to erase in a certain sense. I can just either draw over after having changed the opacity. Like if I wanted to change that leg and I drew too many times over it, I would just lower down the opacity and make another layer. Well, I imagine I'm gonna have to do that within the next few minutes. Just settle the sketch. It's a bit weird to say. Like I said, not a teacher. I just do stuff. A cool thing or interesting thing I see a lot of people do is using simple, very, very simple shapes. And I find that cool, but at the same time, it kind of troubles. I have trouble with that, mostly because there's a certain aspect of anatomy you want to integrate. So sometimes using simple shape can break that aspect of anatomy. It, just like using the flow or some people would call Disney shapes. Sometimes those completely break anatomy and may look better as in betweens than actual standing still pictures. But I guess you learn how to integrate those or make them work. Just like any other approaches. So far, I'm just trying to add more volume, but there is clothing there. It's an interesting piece of clothing. Interesting character altogether. If I only I could get to working on that project. One day. Just means I might have to cut a few things from extra stage, but I think a series might be better, or this D series might be better if I don't overdo certain aspects and get to the point, or don't drag on. Uh, Sometimes just going in with those scribbles just to reiterate the shape might work, but you might as well do that before. I don't know why I'm doing those after, just because I can. Bad example. And especially the hand. Oh god, the hands. Real pain in the ass. But the more example of hands you can get, the better it gets. Or the easier it gets. So let's see if I can do some kind of a quick cleanup. Let's see. This is where digital powers are activated. Digivolution? Whatever. And of course, don't think about getting things perfect. Unless it's a job, and even then, it may screw you over. I like having energy and a lot of flow in my sketches, or in my work entirely. I don't want it to become stiff and stale. That usually pisses me off. So that's a thing I need to work with. I've seen people able to ink animation line, and I get extremely jealous because whoa, that is a skill. That is one heck of a skill. So, but that requires a lot of time spent inking and screwing up your sketches. Or if you have the machine, you can Xerox the shit out of one sketch and then constantly ink it until you get it. That could be a good practice. Of course, that requires money. Money that you need from, well, money that you can either acquire from doing freelance or doing other drawings that you will not ink or that you don't ink. I don't know. It's all about finding your way or finding your way to acquire money to do more drawings. Because, that shit is not free. It's expensive. You get the paper, you got to have the equipment. You know, I'm really tempted to do a small montage of just finishing to ink all this. Well, not ink, but finalizing the sketch. Because I don't think I'm gonna make it for the 15-minute marks. Damn you, YouTube! But screw it, you just do it. I mean, just like life drawing sketches, or when you draw people in the streets, you're gonna have to do this fast. Really fast. You're gonna have to get used to drawing fast. It's the animation type of method. It's the animator's way. See, I can even make her look at you. Just going, what? That's the whole thing, just having fun with your characters. Of course, it's easier to do in a comic than just your standalone picture, because you have more panels to do emotions and all that, but there's always ways. Storytelling, having fun with your characters, making them believable. Not too generic, you know? You can always have fun with generic characters, but if they're too generic, then you get bored of that character. Like having a Mary Sue type of character. That's so boring. It happens so often in anime and manga. This person can do everything. Okay, good. So why should I care about this person? What is the conflict of all that? And would that character conflict with another person? Maybe, you know what? I think that's the Superman syndrome, where Superman can do everything, but frankly, it's the villains that make the show interesting. Speaking about the animated show, of course. Because, it's the goddamn Superman. I mean, he can just punch a boulder and more. And at that point, it's kind of boring. You kind of know that he's gonna win whatever you throw at him. So you gotta have some interesting villains to complement some kind of a Mary Sue type of character. And hell, Lex Luthor, that's a villain. Even when watching Justice League Unlimited, he would pull off the craziest shit, like becoming president, all that to foil plans and make secret plans. Can't really resume the entire season 3, but it was really amazing. Somewhat on time, not with the results I'd want, but that's my issue. But hey, there could be more of that, and maybe, just maybe, I'll draw faster. And in the end, I always want to try to keep somewhat make a blend of those rough lines and then some of the cleaner lines. I don't know. It's a thing to try out, and especially with digital art, it's something else. I really prefer traditional drawings over digital sketching, and I guess I might have to make a video on that because there's much I don't know. I feel like I have more control over the pen.